Welcome to a special edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show. I'm Jason Pinkton, joined by head women's golf coach Peter Reif. Coach, the program started in 1999, and you spent 18 years building it. Over that time, 3 WIAC Coach of the Year awards. You coached the second place team in 2004, an individual in 2005. A lot of history here from when you were here, but now that you're back with the second time around, what have you seen changed in the program?
Well, thank you for remembering all those earlier years. It's much easier now this year because Coach Reif is really doing all the work. I get to do the easy part, which is what I love to do, and that's spend time on their golf swings and spend time on just helping them out on the golf course when they're playing golf. So it's been, like I said, it's been easier, but it's been, which maybe has made it a little bit more fun.
Now, there's been a lot of changes since, you started the program in 1999, just to say how old I am. I was a student athlete at that time, and the school and the facilities were nothing like it was back then. So talk about the growth of the facilities that's helped, the golf program.
Well, one of the big things which I've never, as a golf professional teaching, have never really used a simulator before, but that's really helped a lot. And I started this spring with the student athletes in the simulator, and because of that, we made some very good swing gains and improved their stroke averages. So the simulator is big. Besides that, it gives them an opportunity to at least keep swinging, whether they're working on anything or not. So. And I think that there's been multiple parents, certainly this administration, that has helped this go forward with their donations of time and or money. But it's been a joy to see the fact that there's 14 players on the roster. I think when the best I remember was 10, and we actually had a junior varsity team, which was very exciting, and we did that again this year. So the growth in the number of players and certainly some of the add-on things that help them with their golf swing have been terrific.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I really like that golf simulator during the winter when none of your women are in there, and it's get a little break between work and a men's basketball or women's basketball game. I don't mind going in there and taking a few hacks myself, so I really do appreciate that. Last week you finished second up at the UW Stevens Point Invitational. It was a very heavy WIAC field. I believe all the teams were WIAC. As a golfer myself, I like playing courses that have some history, and Century Road is one of the nicest courses in Wisconsin, and it's going to be world known coming up this summer when the USGA brings the U.S. Senior Open there. How exciting is it for your women to be able to play on a course like that?
Well, I might think it might be a little bit more exciting than maybe they did. I know they didn't play as well as they wanted to, but it's a golf course that requires patience, and it requires you to manage your golf ball around it. There's a couple of par fives that kind of ate us up a little bit, but I think for the kids, I think they will probably really appreciate it as they get older, that they got a chance to play it, as you're suggesting, because it is got the U.S. Senior Open coming. So the rough was extremely tough, but it's a fun golf course to play.
Now let's change our focus to the WIAC Championship coming up. You got shotgun start on Friday and then split tees on Saturday and Sunday. Marquis Ash is your number one golfer. I believe she's averaging around 81 strokes per round in her 8 rounds. She finished third in 2021, and I know she has her goal and her sights set on something a little bit higher this year. What does she have to do over the 54 holes at the WIAC Championship to reach that goal?
Well, we certainly always have to, I think about the word luck. But most of all for Marquis, because she's got great skills, very little that I see any difficulty with. But I think maybe most of all is patience. Golf is a game that seems to start differently each round with each round that you play, and some of them start quick, and of course some of them start slow. And if you can maintain a certain patience level and wait for the good things to happen, I think they'll eventually show up, and they usually do for Marquis. Working on certain things right now, I think she's spending a little time on her driver, and certainly putting. And we've certainly worked on managing the golf ball, especially on the greens, with where do you want to hit your next putt from. So it's not all about trying to make everything. Sometimes it's trying to make sure that we have an easier putt on the second one if we don't make the first one.
Now, in week 1, you were down at the Highland Classic in Augustana. Your team finished 5th. Since then, you had 1 first place finish as a team, 3 runner-ups. Marquis won a pair of individuals. What have you seen different from week 1 to now leading up to the WIAC championship?
I think it's honestly that they're thinking better. There's been more influence, I think, about the mental aspect of the game from myself and Coach Rayfield, and managing the damage, trying to keep keeping a 7 from becoming an 8, thinking we're always going to hit some bad shots, and it's what's most important is what you do with the next one than the one that you just hit, because that's gone and that's done. And I just alluded to putting just a second ago. I think the single biggest thing they've improved on is the greens. We play a lot of golf courses where the greens are very fast, and it's a matter of trying to manage yourself with an easy second putt, so that we don't do the tap, tap, tap thing, and all of a sudden we've got 3 and 4 putts, and we've taken, a 5 to a 7.
Yeah, I know all about that tap, tap, tap. I've been owner of a few 3 putts myself. Lastly, let's talk about the team. Outside of Marquis, you have Josie Ong, you have a couple of freshmen in Maddie Berg, Taylor Swab, that are playing pretty well right now. What are you seeing overall as a team, and what would you like to see them do at the WIAC?
I don't necessarily look at it. Of course, it's conference. Of course, it's important. But I personally, with them, try and tone that down a little bit. It's all golf. One of the things that I think that happens to players in conference is, because it is conference, they're facing their foes, that they tend to play the player, the other player, their opponent. And I think it's very important to keep and stay on track with playing the golf course, not your opponent. But we want to improve every time that we go out, and they've done some great things with their stroke averages so far. So I think our team stroke average is 344.1, and we're hoping that each time we go out, we can better that mark.
Well, Coach, appreciate the time. Best of luck this weekend up at the WIAC Championship. Make sure your women find the short stuff and make some putts and see what happens, okay?
Thank you very much, Jason.
I'm Jason Pington, and you're watching a special edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show with Coach Reif.